Now, the shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
And here we go.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is March 31st. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing well.
Good.
Just on the road.
Up and out of the swamp.
About as close to Central Time as you can get, but still on East Coast time.
Okay. How close are we talking? Where does it switch? Where does it cross
I think
over?
like if I drive like 20 minutes
Whoa.
west time, I'm in Central Time.
God, that's got to be confusing. So like if it's last call at one bar, can you just like kind of drive across and get an extra hour or something like that? Like
Maybe.
That? Interesting.
That's like when it was always fall back in college.
At the bar.
Unnecessary extra hour at the bar. Always ended
Just
up
idiots, so
destructive.
excited. Yeah, never went well. But God, we were always so happy.
It was amazing. And then you'd wake up the next morning and you'd be like, what just happened to me last night?
God. Yeah, not good. All right. Hey, a new
Hey,
week.
you want to start with a Sabo story?
Sure. Why? Yes. Always. We would do this every
We need to
episode.
get a sponsor of the Sabo stories.
Okay.
Do a Sabo story once a month or something.
Yeah.
So this is just a Sabo story I heard recently.
Okay.
I felt inclined to share. So Sabo was at a golf course and he was, he had a drink and he went up to the person that was making drinks and asked for a half and half.
Okay.
Guy starts pouring him a half and half, like lemonade, iced tea. He goes, no. And the guy like looks at him perplexed, and he goes, half vodka, half orange juice.
I mean, half and half, I guess, is ambiguous. I mean, some people just intuit to me.
The Sabo half and half. Says he put down about 4 or 5 of them.
So he's not a 60-40 guy or 70-30. He's 50-50. Fill it to the half. Okay.
Half vodka, half OJ.
That can get dicey. That can get dangerous. I remember he made an ace at the web tour event at the site of the Overclub Challenge. It had to be whatever, 2015-16. Went straight to the patio and was going after some sort of clear juice. I might have been the half and half, and he was. I mean, this is a web tour playoffs. He's probably, I don't know, he's fighting for some sort of status or improved status, and he went straight for the patio in some sort of clear beverage. So that's great. The Sabo half and half. OJ, man, that's not something you should drink in great quantity. You know, like
Yeah.
that much OJ. I know the vodka's not great to drink a lot, but a lot of OJ seems like just gross.
Lots of vodka and lots of acidic liquid in your stomach.
Oh, God, Sabo. All right, that's a good Sabo story. I enjoyed that. I love that he got on the bartender for just not immediately knowing.
Yeah.
Which half of what? All right. That's good.
Apparently, the bartender kind of gave him a little something back, and Sabo like acknowledged a little, didn't say anything, but he could tell by his facial reaction that he acknowledged that he was in the wrong for not,
Yeah.
Like he at least had some, like at first he had
that's
no
good.
awareness,
Yeah.
But
Good.
after a gesture was made back to him, he realized that he probably should have provided more context.
God, I can't. I think I might drink like a total of 1 gallon of orange juice over an entire year at most, maybe less. God, that's just so much orange juice. That sounds gross.
You don't like OJ, huh?
I don't dislike it. It just seems
Is it
like
in the rotisserie chicken category?
No, it's tolerable. It's tolerable. No, but mostly as a masking agent for vodka. But I don't drink much of it.
Sometimes, when I'm hungover, one of the things I crave more than anything is like a big glass of OJ in the morning. I feel like it like re-nourishes my body. But I haven't been hungover in I feel like a year.
Great. That's good. Good for you. All right. That's a good Sabo story. Some orange juice talk here at the top. Nothing like it to get into the schedule for the week. This week we have the A&A Inspiration. It's not packed. It's which is great.
We got a
I'm saying the women. It's not. Yes, we had the women get like. There is no excuse. Women front and center, both amateurs and professionals.
What are you
but
saying?
after
the Texas Open, the National Open, doesn't compete with it.
Are you calling Texas its own country? They may believe it.
They got their own power grid.
They're always talking about seceding a little bit. Little rumors bubbled up of that. But we have, what I'm saying is, like, we have two premier events. The women should be front and center. There's no excuse. That should be your primary consumption this week. After that, it's thin. Euro Tour is just punting, taking off. I didn't think they were going to draw too many guys. They did their back-to-back in Kenya. Everybody else is over here for the Masters and WGCs and whatnot. And
it wasn't going to be like the Portugal or something?
We got no senior circuit. No, nothing. No senior circuit. A little KFT, but of course they don't play on TV. They just play in obscurity. So here's our schedule for the week. We have the A&A Inspiration, formerly the Dinah Shore, formerly the Nabisco. That is 12 to 4 on Golf Channel, and then 7 to 9 on Golf Channel Thursday, Friday. So you get a couple windows there. You get the prime time, and then you get what will be the early morning wave on the West Coast there, and then concluding on Golf Channel 5 to 9. 5 to 9 on the weekends. What's that?
Well, it's great because of the West Coast. You can get that extra window.
Yep.
I love West Coast. I think all the golf tournaments should be held on the West Coast.
Just all of them, huh?
Yeah.
Every single one.
I'll tell you what is the worst is summer in the Midwest.
What do you mean?
Nobody wants to watch golf in the middle of the day in the summer. Everybody wants to be outside.
Yeah. That is, of course, at Mission Hills Country Club.
No blue wall.
The wall is down. Tear down this wall. There's a lot of content about the blue wall. We were hollering about that weeks in advance.
Catnip City.
And then it became just the story of the championship as people were rifling balls off the wall. This is, I guess we'll just go into A&A talk at first before we get to the rest of the schedule. This is Brittany Lincecum to golfchannel.com. I saw a lot of balls go in the water. Last night, my caddy and I were talking about it. If we don't have a 9-wood or less into that green, I don't think we're going to be able to go for it because I don't think the ball will stop. So sounds like a real 3-shot hole for a lot of people. A layup.
Seems like they should move the tees up and just make it a driver 9-iron. That's what fans want to see.
They want to see eagle opportunities.
Yeah, right? They don't want to see balls go in the water. They don't want to see risk and reward like it's currently showcasing.
Yeah,
they just want 9-irons.
So Lincecum's like a big hitter. I guess she eagled it twice for both of her victories at Mission Hills. But it sounds like she's going to need a 9-wood or less to get in. Really have to step on one off the tee to have a shot. So that's A&A Inspiration. I love the schedule. Love that prime time. That should be your primary viewing. Then on the amateur side, for the women's team.
We're talking A&A.
All right, keep it going. Keep it going. I didn't know if you wanted to keep going. All right. Or just
I think it's time to ask, when's the next American going to win a major? Do you know the last American to win a major?
Who was it?
Angela Stanford,
Okay. Was it the
2018
France, right?
Evian.
Yeah. Yeah, and even that was when Amy Olsen kind of gave it away. Another American.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's the end of
pretty
2018.
pretty much have one a year. You know, in 2014 there's 3 Americans that won.
Yep.
You know, but we had one a year, 15, 16, 17, 18. We haven't had one since.
Yeah.
And it's not for like lack of talent. There's U.S. has 6 of the top 20 women in the world.
Yeah.
Just time to get it done.
I guess. I mean, the game's obviously really, really deep globally.
It's super
No?
deep and it's global, but you know, I think 3 years is too many years.
I agree. I would agree with that. It's of all the majors, it feels like this one would set up best for that American style. You know, so many of them came up in Florida. Maybe not the Texans, but yeah, I don't know. This feels like it should be ripe for American winners, but hasn't been. Okay.
Yeah, Poppy's Pond.
Poppy's
See
Pond.
one of them jump into Poppy's Pond. Poppy's hot tub. Last year it was Poppy's hot tub because of how hot it was there. We'll be back down to chiller temperatures in the pond this year.
Maybe.
Do you think there's any wildlife in those ponds? Do you think they can get any animal content out of there?
I mean, that one's a pool, essentially. It's the most artificial thing ever, right? I mean, it's
But are there like snakes in it?
not in that one. There may. I don't know much. I'm not familiar with the sort of the Palm Springs area.
Remember that little
Wildlife.
cement wall on the green from last year that, like, you know, like balls would like pop into?
Vaguely. They've got that bridge.
There's like a little barrier wall.
Yeah. I tweeted the flashback. This was, of course, where NBC listen to our Julie Inkster spotlight on her win 1982 when she won it as a rookie. Speaking of Americans winning major championships, where NBC held up play so they could finish on time. And then they went into a sudden death playoff and actually had to scramble to roll the credits so they could get out. But yeah, this will be Golf Channel in prime time. All right. The pond is ridiculous. Who's caddy? Somebody's caddy or dad like tore his ACL jumping into that thing. It was like recently, last few years. I mean, it's hazardous. You got to be careful doing that.
You think there's snakes or anything in it, though?
You just asked me that. No, I don't. Do you?
You don't think there's anything in there?
And Poppy's Pond is essentially someone's looks
Just
like a pool
pesticides?
in your backyard. Yeah, I think I saw it wasn't even filled. Like a week ago. I think they just
they drain it out?
Yeah, they just dump a bunch of water. It's a pool. I mean, that's all it's missing is the lap lines or whatever you'd put on there.
You're saying it's not rainwater in there?
No, absolutely not. I think they had to dig it out after the guy probably won a lawsuit, like tore his ACL. He hit the bottom or the side. I think they had to just make some artificial pool. So, all right, that's ANA. That's prime time. ANWA, Augusta National Women's Amateur, not on TV. Starting today, if you're listening to this Wednesday and Thursday at Champions Retreat in Evans, Georgia. And then Saturday, the final round on NBC, noon to 3. That's your only televised portion. Noon to 3 on NBC, Augusta National.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why can't they get Thursday and Friday at Champions Retreat?
On TV?
No, just why isn't it Thursday, Friday
Oh.
golf? Like, why do we need the 24-hour break?
Well, so the whole field plays a practice round at Augusta National on Friday.
Oh, I forgot.
So I think
can't they do that before?
Oh, I think like they play practice at Champions Monday, Tuesday, then play 2 rounds, then
Couldn't
practice.
they do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practice rounds?
It's a fair question.
What's
question.
going on?
Is there some sort of agronomic concern there? Probably not, right?
No.
I mean, what they're all playing, they let everybody, even if you miss the cut, you play it on Friday. So yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It is a little odd. It is. Right?
Is there another big tournament that's got an 18 or a day break between
Yeah.
the final round and the preceding round? That's a good Justin Ray question.
That is a good Justin Ray question. So that will be, just noon to 3.
This is the event of the week, by the way.
Okay. Over the major.
Next year, A&A is going to get it back. But the fact that we didn't have Anwa last year, we get it back. It's awesome. The first one was such a slam dunk, such an awesome tournament with Kupcho and Fossey coming down the stretch. I love this event.
I am fully in the tank for it. I was reading about it, up on it again today, sort of prepping for this. I just can't
you
wait.
wrote something about it.
I can't wait
in
for
a
Saturday.
little publication. Few people might have heard of.
Yeah, I did. I wrote about it. A story. I have personally become more familiar with all these players. It's covering the U.S. Women's AM here in D.C. last summer, and then writing a little bit about one of the players, Amari Avery.
For the New York Times.
Yeah.
It's a great article. I read it before the show. I was excited. You told me about it a couple weeks ago, and
Thanks.
Interesting. You want to give people the Cliff Notes?
I mean, she's going to Southern Cal, which has 6 freaking players in ANWA. I mean, what do you play, 5 and count 4 scores in college golf? They have 6 players.
Are you counting her?
No, I don't think you can. I mean, she's a verbal.
So 7 if you include her.
Yeah, and probably maybe a few others. I don't know. There could be other verbals. There's a few 17-year-olds. Alexa Pano's the youngest at 16. 17, obviously, maybe the best player in the field is 17. Rose Jane, like number 1 in the world, Wager. She's probably the best player in the field. But Amari Avery, I don't know.
Though that's the thing with women's golf is like the phenoms. They're so good young,
Yeah.
Like they're super talented, super early.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've wrote a lot about that. That's the other thing, though, is like, I asked somebody if there were going to be odds for this. And they're like, it's really like a crapshoot. There aren't like there's not a ton of like intel. Like they know Rose is really good, but some of them are like very kind of.
What do you mean there's no intel? It's like, go look at results. That's all you have to do.
I know, but it's minimal, especially the last year. There's been like there's the high-profile amateur events. There's just not been a lot. They had a run of a few, like North-South and women's and stuff like that. But anyways, ANWA, Saturday, noon to 3. Why is it your event of the week? What?
Well, I got 3 things.
Okay, what are your 3 things?
I got Amari Avery.
Okay.
I wanted you to fill us in on her, and you stopped. We got on a tangent.
She's I hope she makes it out. I'm not like I'm a unbiased journalist, but I would love to see her get to Augusta on Saturday. It's an amazing story. She's one of the few black women in any level, amateur golf, professional golf, certainly on the men's side too, but she was in the Short Game Netflix documentary. There are a couple. Alexa Pano also in the field was in that, and it's a portrayal of some like not the most flattering of her dad. A lot of the parents come across as sort of nutty, and I think that's probably pretty par for the course. That's a golf term for a lot of junior golf folks. I talked to Renee Powell for this story, and she was like, "Yeah, when I went out on the LPGA in the '60s, like every dad was crazy. That's just how it is, every parent." And so I don't know. She was moderately famous when she was 8 years old in a documentary, and here she is 8 years later. She's committed to USC. She's won the Cal Women's Amateur as a 15-year-old. She's like outside the top 200 in the Wager now, but I try to get
probably a lot hard to get counting events.
Yeah, I don't think she has any. I asked somebody like she's easily a top 5 prospect in her class. So seeing a black woman play at Augusta National as an elite prospect would be kind of cool. And look, I talked to her and her dad for a few hours on a couple different occasions. Her dad is still like a character for sure,
Well, tell us a little bit more, because for people that aren't knowledgeable on the game.
He signs her up for he signs her up for events when she was 9-10 as Tigress. He thought she was going to be Tiger,
They
the
have the
female
same
version of
birthday,
Tiger.
too.
They have the same birthday. They were born in the same county. This is his spiel. Born in the same county. They made holes in one on the same course. I forget, some Southern California course. They won Junior World around the same age. I think she was 6. Tiger was 8. Well, some other stuff. They're both they're both mixed race, black and Asian mothers. So yeah, Tigress Avery. And, she's 8 freaking years old. He's calling her this, but she's grown up, and she's like told him like, hey man, back off. They both end up in tears in that documentary, 2013. I thought he was like a good dude. I talked to him a lot, but he says some stuff that you're like, all right. He says they have a divine connection with Earl and Tiger. And I was, this was before the recent HBO documentary when you might not say that, which, didn't paint, I would say, the greatest portrayal of Earl's parenting. But I don't know. She would be an awesome character to really have or player to have sort of become a part of the golf scene. Anyway, you can read the story if you want. You don't
read
have
the story. New York Times.
I didn't know we were talking about all this.
nytimes.com.
Yeah, I think that's the URL.
Some people have heard of it.
Yeah.
Great article.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Who is the better USC?
Okay.
You got Southern California with 6 players in the field. South Carolina with 4.
Okay, I saw that. So
I think we should take the top 2 scores. Who's going to win?
Let's do it. Top 2. All right. We'll see.
I'll give you Southern California since you're already in bed with them. Crooked journalist.
Get out of here.
And I'll take South Carolina.
Now,
hometown team. Just a hour away.
So I love South Carolina. I absolutely love it. I mean, I prefer to fly into Columbia when I go to the Masters. I like
Seems
their
like
football
you're about
team.
to drop a bomb on them.
They're kind of caught between identities on multiple fronts. So when they call themselves Carolina, that's not true. Like when they say like Carolina football or Carolina basketball. Carolina,
I've never heard them say that. I've never heard anybody say Carolina.
I have a shirt from there. I've been there. I have a shirt that says Carolina football. And if somebody...
So you bought it. You were so offended by the shirt that you bought it.
I'm not saying I'm offended. I'm saying if somebody
like
colorblind like you saw it, you presume it's UNC. Carolina is UNC. I'm sorry. The real USC, I'm sorry, is Southern Cal, the Trojans. I know they try to, maybe it's not in like a very small corner of the world in southeastern United States, the real US, but there's only one USC, and it's Southern Cal. And there's only in Carolina, so they're kind of caught in between. I love the Gamecocks. I like rooting for them. I love following them. I love Spurrier era there. I'm not trying to bury him.
I'm a Frank Martin fan. I like the Frank Martin era.
They're just kind of caught. The real USC, I don't think, is really a debate, but maybe it is in one state. I don't know. So, all right, that's a good thing to watch.
See, I'm glad I gave you Southern Cal because now I'm with the underdogs after
You're all in.
ripped the university. I'm sure they were maybe they were the first Carolina university.
They could be. All I'm saying is, when you say we got a game against Carolina tonight or next week, it means UNC.
I side with South Carolina.
I know you're just trying to jam me right now. You're just trying to stir the pot. Okay.
All right, and then the last one is this is a little bit more serious. Will this become, the ANWA a big jumping off point? Like, will this? I think like the USAM, the US Women's Am, they're great events, but they aren't necessarily predicative of future success.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag. Like they're all great players, and they all will have some. They all obviously achieve a huge amount of success winning those events in golf, but in terms of professional success, aren't necessarily great predictors. We've got one edition of this. And the one edition is showing up really well. You have Jennifer Kupcho 2 years removed from her ANWA championship, is already the 11th ranked player in the world.
Yeah, she's Rolex shooting up.
And that's despite only 35 starts, which is by far the least of anybody in the top 15.
Yep.
So I think it is. I'm not sure exactly how women's rankings are computed, but if they're anything like the OWGR, she's probably only going to go up.
Right. Is there any reason to think it would be more predictive? Like, why would it be different than the amateurs on the USGA side, the women's or men's? I don't.
Stroke play versus match play.
That's true. Smaller field. More. I mean, you got to have some real bona fides to maybe get in. I don't know. You do at
Chasing
the other
history
ones.
down that back nine, just like Curtis Strange says.
Yeah.
The sphincter, as he says, the sphincter tightens.
So, I mean, I love ANWA. The one thing is that it's unfortunate it goes up against a women's major, right? I mean, they're not going to host it in the fall.
They're in a stare down. They're in an utter stare down.
I mean, LPGA is going to switch, right? LPGA is probably going to switch.
Somebody's got to, right? This isn't sustainable.
And they're so close in sort of abbreviations, ANA, ANWA. It's just like, yeah.
I'd have to say, I know that Augusta's not going to switch, but they're the ones that should switch because they're the ones that came second. They're the ones that have like a similar name, and they chose the date knowing, but they just don't care. That's the plain simple truth of it. They just assume that ANA is going to switch.
Well, I mean, they also, I think they want to be commended for even creating it and opening their doors to a women's event, which, it is good. It is great. It is refreshing. It's so exciting. I'm happy. I think I like a lot of what Fred Ridley's done. But, yeah, I don't think they're going to, hey, we made this. Don't complain about it, overshadowing or at least competing with a women's major championship. So I would imagine the ANA eventually gets moved up a week, maybe. I don't know. It's hard. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But I'm so excited for this. I was researching it again. I love the timing. There's no competition really, Saturday early afternoon. It just it can own the stage for that reason. You're not necessarily up against a major for that reason. But the women, what sticks out to you about these women playing Augusta National? Of course, they don't play it all the way back, do they?
No.
Probably some
but you just
holes, but
you see more realistic, of like the architecture. This is the type of shots that the architecture was designed
So
for.
it's what, like 6,600 yards or something, probably 65, something like that. Remember?
And then just the ball running in,
Yeah.
You just see more of the contours at work, like a lot of the stuff that we love, like in the men's event. Like I'd say one of my favorite shots to watch is Sunday second shots into two.
Yes. Yeah.
And that, granted, is becoming shorter and shorter of a shot, but like, remember when Louis made the two? I think he hit a 3-wood in that, or a long iron at least, off a downslope. And you see the ball roll on those greens, and the more the ball rolls on those greens, the more fun it is to watch.
Sure.
Like if I went out there, I'd be content going out there every day and just rolling balls around the greens. I would love that. It'd be fun in itself. Like
you mean with your hand, just rolling?
Yeah,
grounder.
just break 3 balls and roll them around and try and make, throw balls different places and have them end up in different spots. And you just see the ball on the ground more. Anytime the ball's on the ground, golf is more exciting.
One of my favorite things doing this job was when you and I ended up out there on Wednesday night before the Masters. I don't know which one. I guess the one Tiger one. And there was an armada of carts in green coats. It was Wednesday night before, and they're
super late
scouting pins, and we were just wandering
like
around
30
talking about fruit, favorite, just dumb stuff, and taking in the scenes. quiet. Yeah. And they were just rolling balls, scouting pin. They probably had all their pin where they wanted to, but just double checking. A bunch of guys. Knox was out there putting them around. That's what you would want to do. Just roll balls around the green.
This is one of my favorite things to do when I play course the first time is like roll balls around. You know, when my playing partners are putting out, I'm over in the corner of the green rolling balls.
Yeah. Fantastic. Another thing, though, now that we're talking about this, to watch, Jordan Spieth today in his Valero press conference talking about the rumors are that the rumors he's hearing, it's going to look a lot different. It's as firm and fast as it's ever been.
Thank
what he's
God.
heard. I mean, we saw Westy talk at Honda about how it's the hardest he's ever seen it. But some of that had to do with like 40 degrees, like, you know, a month out, or it's just, you can't take that with a grain of salt.
Did you say Honda or Honda?
Honda, I'm sorry, the Honda Classic. But it does seem like they have it firm. Now, that can all change by next Thursday or what have you. Maybe the tour comes in and...
Well, sub-air.
Yeah.
You can do anything with sub-air.
I'm joking about the tour. But yes, so that is something we could watch for. Maybe an early signs of that on Saturday when you're talking about the ground game, seeing how firm it might be and see if what Spieth is hearing is actually in true as we enter Masters Tournament week as well. And trying to watch the best women's amateurs play it on Saturday. All right, on to schedule. Continuing. We have the Valero Texas Open. That is at TPC San Antonio, the Oaks course, a Norman masterpiece with Sergio Garcia is now the consulting
Whoa.
architect. Did you know that?
Big Tex.
Yeah, of course. Got the local.
It's just an hour and a half down the road from Austin.
Well, he knows proper
Hometown
Texas
game.
golf. He's played there his whole life. He came up. He knows.
Did he have like a tirade on this golf course one year?
He threw his club in like the junk, the
Into
bush,
the junk,
whatever
yeah.
those the bramble, whatever that gnaw got caught in. I think he just launched his driver into it. I didn't know Sergio was getting into the architecture game. I don't know what consulting means, but you know, his stated favorite course is Valderrama, so I'm absolutely dying to see fascinated to see some more of his work. So inspired. So that. What do we have? Featured groups. Jordan Spieth, Ryan Palmer, Corey Connors, defending champ, Mr. CT Connors.
Mr. CT.
This is Thursday morning. Gary Woodland, Scotty Scheffler, and Ricky Fowler. Ricky Tour Live. You know.
It's a big week for Rick.
You know, this is a better field than Honda, but not a great field, but you knew Ricky was going right in. Yeah, this is one where I'm actually kind of fascinated. You know, he's really playing for something. You know, I guess if you want to say that, he's you know,
he's trying to hold on to the top 100 world ranking.
Is he that close to 100, the century mark?
94.
Woo. But I'm fascinated to see him. You know, that fascination and drama may be done by, you know, lunch on Thursday, but you know, he's on the PGA Tour Live. On Friday, feature groups, Finau champ, Jolie D, fresh off his win, moving up. Might be worse for the wear when he shows up. He seemed like he was ready to take a full cut at it. And then Mickelson, Kuchar, and Hideki. That's kind of, I mean, why'd they throw Hideki with those two guys? The old Americans. So those are your featured groups. Do you have a one and done pick for the Valero Texas Open?
Yeah, I do. Do you?
What is it? I mean, it's got to be Chucky Hoffman, all-time money leader, maybe the greatest Texas Open player of all time, per Rob Bolton. I posted this to Instagram. Head of Snead, head of Palmer, head of Hogan, head of Crenshaw. Crenshaw, who won it in wasn't this his first pro event? I think he won it his first time as a pro.
One of the guys on that list won it 4 times in a row, I think.
Justin Leonard, I think, has won it a few times. But Chuck Hoffman is the greatest of all time at the Texas Open if you measure it by
money
earnings. Not adjusted for inflation. either. Just straight pure money versus whatever 1960.
I was thinking about doing the Hoffman thing.
I don't even know if he's good. I don't even know. He could have missed his last 8 cuts.
Played decent recently.
Okay.
I haven't had a good run. So I'm going to try and color outside the lines here. Take somebody that maybe people aren't all over.
Go with my approach.
Take somebody that I myself have sworn off from taking in fantasy golf just for, strictly personal reasons. I'm taking Zach.
Wow. Okay.
Taking Zach Johnson.
Why?
He's played here well in the past. He played well at Honda. This is a Zach kind of place to go win.
Yeah.
I never take PXG players either. That's another personal thing. But I'm taking one. Taking the poster boy.
Well, Damon just won. Oh, did you see? Damon, and someone sent us in his quotes after he won. They're talking, I haven't been playing real well. I had an equipment issue I had to sort out. Just went to the troops. That's the troop difference. He was talking about he hasn't played well this year because he was trying to work through equipment issues. So
interesting. You go to pxg.com and there's just all sales.
What do you mean?
How about that?
Sales for what?
I thought that when this stuff came out, Parsons talked about how they'd never discount. And go to pxg.com and first thing is a big sale page. Must be having trouble moving inventory.
Irish eyes are smiling because our March deals are smoking. They don't use G's on the website. Smiling with an apostrophe and smoking with an apostrophe. What the hell? Irish
G is only in the name.
I mean,
what are
St.
we
Patrick's
doing
Day was like 2
PXG?
I don't know. You went to the PXG website.
All
right, so you're taking a
See
troop.
if there's any Jolie D.
All right, you're taking a troop. All right. So that's your Valero Texas Open preview. You have any other thoughts on this? It's kind of
I got one other thing.
I missed the Shell Houston Open. That was the perfect lead into the Masters, but I'll abide this. Texas Open feels like it should be a bigger deal. It's a massive
We have to
historical
congratulate
event.
a player on this big comeback.
Who?
John Peterson back in the ring, inside the ropes.
Did he Monday qualify?
He's caddying for a Monday qualifier.
Oh,
JJ Colleen.
The West Texas driving range pro? Okay, I didn't know that.
Congratulations.
Little misdirection there. Back inside the ropes. That was cheeky. Good job. Good setup. You knocked. I was confused.
Comeback starts this week.
Walk, crawl, run. Start loop, qualify, win the Masters. There you go. All right. You have anything else on Texas? I mean, this course is not great. It's penal, if I recall.
Fine.
If it blows.
You got to hit it good. It can get really windy.
Yeah. All right. News. RBC Canadian Open is going to South Carolina. The Canadian, I guess it will still be called the Canadian Open.
No.
No, will it not? You don't think so? No,
I
guess
guess not. You
not.
can't have the Canadian Open in South Carolina. If the tour does it, they can't do that.
Yeah, I guess it's not. I don't. What is the RBC Open?
I don't know. It should be. They cannot call it the Canadian Open.
Yeah. Okay.
Canada should have its own Canadian Open this year with just Canadians.
Okay.
All the guys that can't get across the border.
Have you been there? You been to the?
I have been to Congaree. I went recently.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's a Faz, right?
Yeah, it'll be in great shape. It'll be super firm and fast. There's some neat holes out there. There's some holes that you're like, what the fuck is this?
I wonder if it's like, I wonder how many people go there when they're playing Torrey Pines the next week. Guys just probably looking for points, maybe. I don't know. A lot of those guys, some of these like to play a week before a major. But, Yeah, it's got a great story, right? Founded by two billionaires with a mission to sort of provide opportunity, education, lessons, teaching, golf teaching for
They're going to milk that on the telecast.
For God's sakes. Yes. Tour is going to milk it. Broadcast is going to milk it. Yeah, but that's the whole deal, is that you're supposed to be like mentors to golfers who have some talent but don't have a lot of means, right? And that they're supposed to help out. So
It's a cool place.
a lot of people rave about it, you know.
The golf course is fine. It's not. It's okay.
Yeah, we can read between lines there. All right.
It's in wonderful condition.
Good tour
so
course.
It'll fit
Good
it.
For a tour event like
Yeah,
this? Who knows?
there are some really hard holes.
Yeah.
There's some really fun holes. I think it'll be a fun watch.
Okay.
It'll be hot too.
Yeah, I guess that's my one sort of lament about this. I love seeing it go to a new venue, and I love being able to tell the story of it and all that. But, like, don't we kind of have enough golf events in the sort of Southeast, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia
It's your
area?
RSM? It's the
Right?
reason you hate the RSM?
Harbor Town. I mean, does Chicago have a golf tournament this year?
No. We've got the Evan Scholar Webb event, a Corn Ferry event.
I just, like...
We
felt
don't even
like-
have a senior tour event. Kind of sad.
I don't know. It just felt like an opportunity to go somewhere that's not the Southeast. I don't know.
Does New York have an event this year? No, they do. Boston doesn't this year.
Yeah.
Philly doesn't.
Yeah. Baltimore has an event. BMW's in Baltimore. The old Western Golf Association event. The Western Open. is in
DC
Baltimore.
doesn't. DC doesn't have an event this year.
Yeah. Baltimore's kind of DC, I guess. But anyways, that's my only kind of lament about this. I love that they're going somewhere outside the box. They're not doing TPC, you know, whatever. Valley Gorge, this, that, or the other. But it kind of felt like they could have gone to the West Coast or the Midwest or something that has lesser events. So, an area that has lesser events. Okay. Other news. The Comcast Business Tour Top 10. They sold the ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. That's what they've done here.
Again.
You'd think they would have changed the format, made it distinct from just the FedEx Cup, but no. I read it this morning.
Here's the thing, though. If they changed the format, they'd be admitting that the format stinks.
Sucked. But they've only done it once. They can admit, get out now. They've changed the FedEx Cup format 15 times in, 10 years, 15 years. I was aghast. I was confused. I was incredulous. The Comcast Business Tour Top 10. Why does the tour? Why do they have to, we know it's the tour. And
well, it could be if you didn't have the tour in there, people might think it was the Comcast Business Top 10 businesses.
So that's my other thing. Who's looking at the top 10 on the FedEx this list, whatever, and owns like the floral shop or the bakery on Main Street? It needs faster internet.
Maybe they're coming after us because you need faster internet. This is targeted at you.
Like, what is the crossover there? The guy that owns the dry cleaners, who's just ravenously wants to consume top 10 content. And then also, oh, look at that. An internet service provider for a small business. Maybe my dry cleaner, my bakery. I'm going to switch to Comcast Business now. What is that cross-section of the world?
I'm a Comcast customer, but not a Comcast Business customer, and I own a business.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. And you use a lot of internet. You need the internet, right? I mean, sometimes I wish I didn't have internet at all, quite honestly. Not to mention,
your internet's kind of like not having internet at all.
Comcast has already paid $1 billion to the tour. What are they doing? Why are they buying more? This garbage product.
10 million.
This garbage top 10 product. What? The rights
Maybe
deal
they got
wasn't
a
enough?
discount. Maybe they got a good discount on it.
And then my last thing with this.
So they must be the new official service provider, internet service provider of the tour. You know, the proud partners.
I mean, the Global Home isn't exactly a mid to small business. Are they? You telling me they're laying Comcast business wires all around the Global Home? Maybe they bury them under the moat, bury them underneath.
Maybe they're just in the moat, so when somebody gets thrown in it, they get electrocuted.
I mean, they got a data lake. They got Comcast Business. It's just a mess down there.
How does Comcast Business interact with the data lake, the AWS?
AWS. I don't know. You got Dell Technologies last week. More storage and stuff. My last thing is the capitalization scheme. Just, the tour is capitalized. The top 10 part is capitalized. Comcast, what are you, in a rolling chair? You look like a first grader. You look like the teacher's going to yell at you. You're just kind of swiveling around over there.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Christ. So they capitalize like everything. There are 97 meeting rooms in that Global Home, and I think they needed so many because they have to have so many meetings to decide, just agonizing over when to go all caps or not. By this time
Is
next year.
Comcast all capitalized?
No, when we're back to normal this time next year.
Doesn't it make the partner seem less important if they aren't capitalized?
Oh my God! We just got a text that someone just saw Westy in the swamp. First night out for the wife and I in months was topped off with his table, Westy, receiving a massive goblet filled with what appeared to be a hot fudge sundae with bacon on top. So he's getting in shape for the Masters. A goblet, hot fudge sundae with bacon. That's intel from the swamp. You left, and now he's off the wagon.
I
He's
missed the swamp.
Fattening up. So I just don't understand. They got 97 meeting spaces, and I think most of them will probably be used to hold agonizing discussions over when and where to capitalize things. But the Comcast Business top 10 is back. That's all I got for news. You have anything you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to share?
No.
All right. Everyone, enjoy your Wednesdays. Be safe out there on the road, Andy. Be careful. Why don't you get home safely to Chicago. Enjoy the ANA. Enjoy ANWA, although you can't really watch it until we talk to you again. But we'll check in with you on Friday.